Manisha, do you think Akhilesh Yadav can capitalize on this in what looks like a very good strategy on the part of SP to get these people, get the BJP rebels, and sort of build an OBC leader image for himself, instead of just a Yadav leader? Do you think he'll be able to capitalize on this opportunity? On what does that hinge?
No, this will be the beginning of a mature Akhilesh innings. Remember always, the Samajwadis have won on a rainbow caste coalition. They've never won on themselves. There was a strange turn of events when both in Bihar and in Uttar Pradesh, became like a first family rule and one dominant caste, and everybody thought the die had been cast with the Mandal nail in the Congress coffin. But the Kamandal challenge was very strong and very real, and that's what the BJP did show. Not only did it script its victory in Uttar Pradesh, the BJP was able to lure many of the social justice committed caste groups and political parties towards it. Now that challenge exists today; it will always exist. Remember. Now, therefore for Akhilesh, the difficult part will be that many of these caste groups, remember, have their own parties. They are not vassals of a larger party or a family. Now, in a situation where there will be jostling within the family, within the dominant caste group of the Yadavs, and then the accommodation, both he and Jayant Chaudhary will have to represent a maturity of their own. It's as yet untested, but will need to be seen. Mulayam Singh also, remember, at all points of time, whether it was Mulayam Singh here or Karpuri Thakur in Bihar, Karpuri even more than Mulayam Singh Yadav, because he was not from one of the dominant OBC castes. He was really from the MBC or the Dalit borderline caste of Nais. But they did have a rainbow coalition of other castes. They did. I mean, Ramvilas Paswan's becoming a leader was something that Karpuri kind of pushed him and backed him. And that's how it happened. So how Akhilesh will respond to this new challenge, to this new script, is something that is completely to be seen. And the BJP is not going to be just sitting down there without not doing anything. So
Yeah.
I think the next 1 or 2 weeks will be defining for Akhilesh, defining for Uttar Pradesh, and also for the BJP. And how the script is rewritten, that will have to be seen. I mean, the Kushwaha leadership cannot be assumed to be, a subset of the Samajwadi Party. Rajbhar is clearly not. Now, one additional point I want to say, that though many people believe that this is a last moment desertion, etc., those who followed with an ear to the ground closely know very well that Rajbhar had these issues raised even before the 2019 Lok Sabha elections. So these dissensions were there. The big question for the BJP is why the Samajik Nyay Samiti report was not taken up, the issues that Rajbhar was raising were not taken up. A lot of us knew, for example, that Swami Prasad Maurya was quite unhappy. So why the issue of the Kushwahas was not being taken up? I'm also given to believe that on the ground, in a number of meetings, people have persuaded Sanjay Nishad to reconsider his alliance with the BJP. So I believe that when people's issues are very strong, political parties need to realign themselves with an ear to the ground. And political parties have a very important tool to do so, because they go directly to the court of people. Sometimes you fold your hands and say, I erred, I made a mistake, but I have not been corrupt. I have not been, ruling for my personal benefits. And you tell us, and we are going to realign ourselves. So I think in the coming days, how the BJP will do that realignment directly with the people and with representatives and leaders who are leaders of people who belong to the poor caste class categories, that is what is to be seen. A challenge for Akhilesh, also for the BJP. Whether it's even Steven or one takes the horse away, we don't know yet.
We don't know yet.
One thing I would
Yeah.
like to say, Aditi, that
Yeah.
if you recall that about a month or 2 months back, there were meetings in BJP there was a lot of resentment amongst MLAs. In fact, they had protested on the floor of the House also,
Yes,
Vidhan
yes.
Sabha,
Yeah.
and then in the party forum. And then at that time, it was, there were a lot of people had come, senior leaders had come from Delhi to Lucknow, and they had a meeting. And then after that, they announced, no, Yogi will continue. So there was a lot of speculation at that time whether Yogi will continue or
Or not.
they'll
Yeah.
change it because of the.
Yes, so clearly, BJP did send down the leaders from Delhi to listen to the complaints, but clearly they were not properly addressed, perhaps, and maybe yes, as Manisha was pointing out, right now is the time that they're probably ruining their decision of not actually, or if it was a decision of not actually listening to them and taking these complaints more seriously.